Is there an update with the Kyle Flood investigation?
No.
How'd you get the news?
He told us after
263.
263 tech. Win or lose, we knew Seton Hall was a lock. He's the reason for this. After Jeff and his family called Hugel to thank him, a lunch meeting was set up at Jeff's favorite restaurant. How did your time at Elizabeth High School develop you into the person you are today? Toll getting his first ring since 2011. Brian, the questions have been asked for the past couple of weeks about Coughlin's future. Your phone must be blowing up right now.
Oh yeah, it's
This snowball is for you back in the studio.
Jason, thank you. The former Bayonne and college football star is battling a rare and incurable disease.
But the support he's getting from the town is lifting him up. Our Jason Kahn has more.
Yeah, they sure are lifting him up. We told everyone about Brandon Smith's story last month. Fighting ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. He's only 30 years old, but even as his body is changing, his spirit is staying strong.
And we'll go step over.
Brandon Smith is used to pushing himself.
You can do it.
Even now, when the smallest step can be a struggle.
The heel first.
A former athlete from Hudson County.
Brandon Smith
Making hits like this, evoking that same football mentality as he battles a crippling disease.
Move forward, preparation, determination. That's it.
July 2015, doctors diagnosed Brandon with ALS.
Turn it this way.
It's a progressive deterioration of muscle. According to the ALS Association, people average 3 years with it. Are you scared?
No.
That's how he approached his days on the football field, alongside his twin brother Brian, winning a state title for Bayonne as seniors.
Best moment of my life, because I got to play a big game with my brother. It's like my best friend.
Brandon moved on to the University of Massachusetts. A starting safety as a senior, he turned his 4-year career into a tryout with the Giants, but it didn't last.
I'm a Giants fan, and getting a tryout for them was great.
He returned to his hometown to become an assistant football coach at his alma mater, basketball too. He says he's always been healthy, but now the 30-year-old has muscle weakness, twitches, and slurred speech. That's what caught his mom and fiance's attention. It happened out of nowhere.
I had to be strong for him, but it was the worst day of my life.
But you told me you didn't know too much about ALS at that point.
No, but I knew the end result of ALS. So that much I knew.
It was a scary feeling. My heart dropped.
Christy Altamirano and Brandon are high school sweethearts, engaged for the past 3 years, a possible wedding this summer. But lately they're putting on events like this. An alumni flag football game, raising money for ALS research. By taking on the Ice Bucket Challenge, the community is helping.
It means a lot, just to have those people there to support him.
Support for him and others. Superintendent Patricia McGeehan lost her husband to the disease almost 25 years ago.
Kind of hits me in the heart a little bit more than most people, but I know that we're going to give him the strength to fight it, because if anyone can fight it, it is Brandon Smith.
But even on a day where friends and past teammates crowd him to take pictures and give words of encouragement.
Brandon's Brandon, and he's still the same he was since he was a little kid.
There's nothing more they can do. Everyone points to his smile and strength, even during a dark time.
I believe in God, and I have a whole family and community behind me.
What do you expect in the months ahead?
I'll look that far. I look at it now.
Brandon is participating in 2 trial studies in Boston and New York City to help researchers learn more about the disease. To donate to Brandon's cause, go to news12.com and click on the link for the article.
A New Jersey wrestling star is fighting for his life. Brett Epps has more wins than anyone at Rutgers Prep. Now, at 28 years old, he's dealing with a rare kidney disease called FSGS, scarring in the part of the kidney that filters blood. He turned to wrestling to help him pull through, and our Jason Kahn tells his story.
Brett Epps was supposed to help coach at this wrestling tournament. Instead, he was here. About 9 hours of dialysis every night, in pain during his return home.
They had to call the ambulance and stuff, so
I was mad at, and the whole time I'm like, no, I'm missing the county. So I'm like,
Wrestling has consumed most of Brett's life. Growing up in Perth Amboy, his dad Kurt coached him, the three Epps brothers together on the mats. At Rutgers Prep, Brett won counties 3 straight years, a state title as a senior.
it was year round. That was all I did. Doing wrestling helped me today.
Living in Charlotte, North Carolina in October 2014, Brett experienced dizziness, an extreme headache, and swollen ankles.
Went to the emergency room, and they laid me in the bed, and the lady, about an hour later, the lady came in and she's like, hey, you got kidney failure.
At the time, no medical insurance after just getting a new job. Already in stage 5, one of his kidneys is non-functional. The other now is at 3%. In search for a donor, his old wrestling coach gave it a try without telling him.
They found some markers where they said, look, you're just not a donor. And, it was a bit of a shock to say, okay, well, is there, and they said, no, that's the decision. You're not eligible to be a donor.
But Mark Adamonis was a friend of the family. July 8, 2015. He was set for surgery on the operating table when doctors had to abort the procedure because his heart stopped. Adamonis disappointed the doctors didn't give Brett his kidney anyway.
I feel like I let the family and Brett down because my heart stopped. I know that has no control over me or what the doctors did or anything, but I just feel bad because I really wanted to do it. It was important to me.
I kind of had to just walk out of the hospital and just breathe, just kind of let some, of the emotion out.
Back to square one.
I will be worried until he gets a kidney that works. It's something you think about every day. I mean, it's constant on your mind.
On this one weekend back in New Jersey, Brett received support from more than just his family, but through the wrestling community. Shirts to root for Brett in hopefully the final match of his life.
It's just like one big long opponent, So I'm just kind of hanging in there with it, just, taking it to the end.
If you'd like to see if you're a match, go to our website, news12.com, and click on the article about Brett. Jason Kahn, News 12 New Jersey.
President Robert Barchi calls it a pivotal day in Rutgers history as he introduces Chris Ash as the school's new football coach. It brings a fresh start for a program mired in scandal this past season. Our Jason Kahn is in Piscataway. And Jason, what did Ash say about turning Rutgers around?
Brian, he said it's about changing the culture. It's about having rigid expectations. And when you have expectations, you got to live up to that 5-year contract starting at $2 million annually with performance bonuses and academic incentives included. Ash is in his 19th season coaching in college, and he's seen his fair share of disciplinary issues. And he acknowledges that it's going to take time to change that marred perception of Rutgers nationwide.
It is my pleasure to introduce the leader of Rutgers football, Chris Ash.
Chris Ash, a visionary, but also realistic.
We've got some work to do to build the right culture.
Stern, but loose.
I'm going to try to lighten this room up a little bit. There's a lot of serious looks in here, and we got to get some smiles going here at Rutgers right now.
There wasn't much to smile about this season. Rutgers in turmoil before opening day. 6 players arrested and kicked off the team. Star receiver Leonte Carew suspended. Kyle Flood fired in part for his own trouble. Violates school policy for meeting with a professor about one of his players.
I knew that there's some things that happened. I didn't know what exactly had happened. I didn't know how they happened or why they happened. And honestly, I don't care. I mean, those things are in the past.
And now another investigation into the athletics department, but new athletic director Pat Hobbs can't talk about the findings yet.
Ultimately, that will conclude, and we'll put that chapter behind us as well.
Ash is the new chapter, the 42-year-old valuing a work ethic he started in his small hometown in Iowa, leading to his rise as defensive coordinator at big programs like Wisconsin, Arkansas, and most recently at Ohio State.
The opportunity to go work with Coach Meyer at Ohio State was like going back to school and going to get my doctorate degree.
It's a journey the former defensive coordinator took his family on. His son already asking him for wins and a high ranking. That will require a financial commitment from the university, already one of the highest subsidies in the country. Still not a full share of the Big Ten money yet. President Robert Barchi insists they are invested.
I think that what we've done is a measured and reasoned step in that direction, and we remain committed to it.
We need to create some positive energy around this program.
Ash is going to bring that positive energy as a 30th head football coach at Rutgers. He says he will still coach at Ohio State up to and during their bowl game. Hobbs, by the way, remarked that he is the single best interview he's ever had in his 25 years in the hiring process. Brian, back to you.
All right, thanks, Jason.
I don't think you'll be disappointed, unlike Patriots fans who were utterly disappointed by the end of the Jets game today.
I can hear your disappointment.
Disgruntled, yeah.
I know, but it was a 3-team race outside of the Jets, going into this one in terms of trying to get that spot for the playoffs.
Jets, right.
We have a lot of clarity now after this afternoon's games, but we do know this, Rick. Next week, a win and the Jets are in. A Steelers loss today paved that road for New York, once again making it close with the rival Patriots. Fortunately, this one's at MetLife Stadium. Last 5 games decided by a touchdown or less. Ryan Fitzpatrick to Brandon Marshall there. Jets up 7 at half. Marshall breaks a Jets single-season record for catches. Also the first receiver in league history with 6 seasons of 100 or more catches. His second touchdown catch there. He had 115 yards. Jets up 14 in the third quarter. Patriots pull within a touchdown. Tom Brady doing this to Jets fans again. Wide open James White sends the game to overtime, tied at 20. Patriots win the coin toss, and listen to what they decide to do.
We want to kick off.
They want to kick off. Matthew Slater of the Patriots elects to kick off first in overtime. That gives the Jets first dibs to score and end the game immediately, which they do. Fitzpatrick hits Quincy Enunwa there. Looks like he has enough space to take it all the way, but brought down 48 yards. Then Fitzpatrick feeds Brandon Marshall. Fitzpatrick throws 3 touchdowns for 296 yards today. They cap it off with this. Fitzpatrick to Eric Decker. All alone there in the corner. Game over, 26-20. Jets win in overtime.
We've been in survival mode the past couple weeks right now, so just beating them because they're the king of the hill right now just gives us one victory. We still got to go to Buffalo next week and win, but it feels good to win a tough, gritty game against a good football team.
The Giants eliminated from postseason contention before they even take the field tonight. 4th year in a row. They can thank the Redskins for that. Washington beat the Eagles to clinch the division last night. Only one team from the NFC East is mathematically eligible to earn a spot in the playoffs. The Panthers are no longer undefeated. The Falcons today end the streak. Morristown native Dan Quinn, the head coach of that team. The Panthers are now 14-1. An incredible catch there by Julio Jones. That means the 1972 Dolphins are still the only team to finish a season with a Super Bowl undefeated. Uncork those champagne bottles. Peyton Manning today refutes a report linking him to performance-enhancing drugs. An Al Jazeera documentary ties him along with several other pro athletes. It says Manning took human growth hormone while he was recovering from neck surgery 4 years ago. The report attributes a former worker at an Indianapolis-based anti-aging clinic. That worker has since recanted his story. Manning says this: the allegation that I would do something like that is complete garbage and is totally made up. It never happened. Never. I really can't believe somebody would put something like this on the air. Whoever said this is making stuff up. That documentary set to air tonight. Holiday basketball tournament in Little Silver, Sayreville and Shore. Take a look at 6'7" junior Jasim Floyd. Kisses the glass here, gives Sayreville an early 9-point lead. Watch the defense from Ryan O'Leary, pick in the pocket, then takes off for the one-handed slam. Game high, 21 points for him. Sayreville cruises 46-24. Alex Rodriguez scores a touchdown at Yankee Stadium. No, seriously, Rick, watch this. A different A-Rod, though. The running back from Indiana University playing in the Pinstripe Bowl on Saturday. But Duke wins in overtime.
And that was a controversial ending, too, in that game. What's going on with these all these overtime
controversies?
Games?
Yeah, missed field goal, but Duke gets the win.
Very disconcerting.
It happened to Duke before earlier in the season, too, when they played Miami.
Oh,
the lateral.
All right, I learned something every day. All right.